say that like that.
Hey man, hey, I'm a Ninja Turtles fan, okay? I will ooze wherever I like.
This one drink that's not even bad, you won't drink. And I'm confused. I am in anger.
Good for you guys. I don't watch a lot of movies. I go outside. Okay?
Welcome back to another episode of the Too Many Words podcast. I am your host, Isaac Joseph. Right next to me is my best friend, Jordan Van Cleve.
Oh, I was going to say it. Yeah, I'm Jordan Van Cleve.
Yes, sir. Why do you have your chest hair out? Like, why is it all the way out?
Because it's sexy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jordan, you're not allowed to be sexier than me on the podcast.
Don't worry. It could never happen.
Well, it's happening right now.
No.
What are you doing?
No.
What are you doing, mate?
No.
So you're dressed up like me, and I'm dressed up like you.
I am
What's
not
going
dressed
on?
up like you.
What are you talking about?
You don't do that.
I don't do the chest hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I ain't a hoochie daddy like you.
Yeah. I'm sexy.
And I'm dressed like a douche for
Yes.
Jordan. Because I'm supposed to be dressed up like you right now, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. See, if there's something that Jordan loves, he loves dressing up like a golfer. Like, that's just like his thing. Right, Jordan? Can you stop looking at Amazon deals?
This is an ad for vocab.
Okay. So, the date and time is 5/20 Tuesday, May 13th. We are going to review the movie Sinners, which is really exciting stuff.
Excuse me.
This is our first movie review since deciding that we're going to go segmentless.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how that goes.
We were
I
kind of
think
already doing that for the
movie reviews. Yeah. We're going to still stick to the skeleton of how we review movie reviews, but I think I'm gonna change it up with a little bit of our freedom that we have now. I learned a lot recently. As you know, I went to a writer's workshop last week, and to be really honest, as a guy who didn't go to college to write for movies, to just be a better writer in general, and also maybe learn how to make movies a little bit. I only really took video production and acting, and the composition classes were not based on movies at all.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot.
Nice.
In that workshop. And they said to yellow pad watch all of the movies that you can. Like, learn from them. They're like, in our world, you watch every movie twice. You watch the first movie to enjoy it as entertainment, and then you watch the second movie to learn from and become a better filmmaker yourself. And so, I was like, what better movie to start with than Sinners for some notes to take? See, now I must preface that these notes, this was my first attempt, and my first attempt at anything is pretty bad. I only got 4 different notes, mostly because I was trying to keep my phone off, because for some reason I wanted to sit near the front, and if my phone screen was bright, then it was going to distract everybody behind me.
See, what you gotta do is get an actual yellow pad.
But then maybe I can't see what I'm writing.
That's
And
why
also-
it's yellow.
And
Isaac.
also, if I'm writing, that means I'm taking a longer time to write it down, and I'm missing the movie.
You think it takes longer to write it than type it?
For me, yes.
Okay. Understandable.
I'm left-handed, dog.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're stupid.
Sure.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I feel like Sinners is an amazing movie to try and study and learn from, as it is the hottest movie of the year. People are already suspecting it's going to win Oscars, win a lot of Academy Awards, and just be great. They're like movie of the year. Which, it's May. There's still plenty of year left. What?
It's gonna be May.
Yeah, there's still plenty of year left, but I struggle to find what's wrong with this movie. Do you?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get into the nitty grittiness. I'll keep the yellow pad notes for the end for the people who want to, learn from what I'm learning from. Technically, from one filmmaker to the next. I got some pointers at the end of what notes I got. So, Jordan, what did we go see?
Sinners.
Heck yeah, we did. Who wrote it? Who wrote and directed it?
The guy that did Black Panther and another one that's pretty famous.
Yeah, let me go to the IMDb page because I'm pretty confident it was written by the director, but I am not 100%. So I'm just gonna check just in case. Okay.
Callow.
Yes.
That's the word of the week, callow.
Callow is the word of the week.
Inexperienced or immature, the callow intern was eager to learn.
I've been callow my entire life in making movies.
Okay.
But we gain an experience, though. What are you callow in?
Uh,
What are you inexperienced in?
existing.
What?
Existing.
Dog, you've been doing that for longer than me.
Yeah.
We got experience.
Nah.
In existing?
Nah. No experience.
What do you want right now?
No experience. No.
Okay.
No.
Callow, word of the week.
No.
Use that in your English papers this week. All right, so yeah, it was written and directed by Ryan Coogler, and it was starring Michael B. Jordan, Miles Catton was Semi Moore, Saul Williams was Jedediah, Dave Maldonado was the racist white guy at the beginning and the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely know who that guy is.
Lee
For
Jun Lee
sure.
was Grace Chow, the Asian mother in the movie, and some nobody named Haley Steinfeld. She was the white girl. She was the white girl in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard she's actually a quarter black.
Something like that. I don't know.
That's actually very cool to find out. But and then Omar Benson Miller. I was happy to see him as Cornbread in the movie because
Yeah.
he's in Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the first one.
Yeah. 2007 Transformers.
He was playing Dance Dance Revolution.
Yes, he was. I love him. He's fun.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah,
Never seen him in anything else.
he was in Sinners. His
Other
name
than
was-
those two movies
His name was
you goofed
Cornbread
at.
in Sinners.
I'm gonna bonk this guy. in
And
the head,
honestly,
I
with
swear.
how large he is, I'm surprised he's not at least typecasted more often. You know what? Let's go down a little wormhole real quick for Omar Benson Miller.
You should have pointed the screen towards us so I could see if it stops recording.
Oh, I wanted to do that just because I fear that I look really fat. Yeah. Fair warning to anybody watching on YouTube. The shirt that I'm wearing, I'm very new to polos. Forgive me if I'm spilling. You know what I'm saying?
They make you look ripped, dog. Jacked, you know,
That's
just
not
fucking like. I'm watching you, camera.
There, I fixed the camera for you, and
Thank
you didn't
you.
even say something funny in my absence.
We didn't ask me to.
What's going on, bro?
You didn't ask me
You
to.
don't have to be asked to do things.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I ain't doing anything. unless
Jordan,
you
say
ask me
something
to.
not funny.
A lot of people died on the Titanic.
That is indeed not funny. What are you laughing for, bro? Oh my god.
'Cause you
Do you
said
need to
that-
get canceled or something?
Okay.
What's going on? What?
I want to smack him with a fish.
Oh man. So let's get into it. What is the synopsis of Sinners? So, I will put in a spoiler warning by the time we get into spoilers. But on IMDb, it says, trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. You say that's accurate?
Yes.
Sinners is a rated R, 2-hour and 17-minute film, and it is stupendous. Getting lower than expected. What do you think the IMDb ratings on this?
Probably like 9.
Mm-mm.
Is it out of 10 or is it out of 5?
It's out of 10.
Out of 10? I'd say like 9.7. That's my guess.
It's an 8.1 on IMDb.
Really?
Yeah. I really wonder what makes parts of this movie a little bit weaker. But, you know, if I was better at filmmaking, maybe I'd know. But anyways, let's go to our super traditional format of how we review movies. Finally, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing, Jordan?
Looking at Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay. So, Jordan, how was your theater experience for Sinners?
It's always great because it was great because it's at the Fleur Cinema.
It's
and that's
great
always
because it's at the Fleur Cinema and Cafe. Yeah, that's right, baby. What you drink?
A Sprite with 2 pumps of blue raspberry syrup
Why is that?
because it's what I like.
It's what we like. Nice.
Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 97% for the tomato meter and a 96% for the popcorn meter.
Nice.
So fans and critics alike are loving it.
It's a really good movie.
It's just for some reason people on IMDb aren't.
So, listen, hear me out. So, I don't know how true it is for the audience score, but there is a fallacy in the critics percentage on Rotten Tomatoes.
What does that mean?
So, just because it is given, let's say, a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, that doesn't mean that the average score given by critics is 97%. That means 97% of the critics liked it versus not liked it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people just have that common misconception.
It's 97% out of 356 reviews.
That's cool. That's not a lot, but I guess for the critics,
For
side,
a lot
that's
of
a bit.
that's a lot of critics, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's a critic, though. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few
And that's why it's
people
got
are
so many
certified.
ratings from the audience side, right?
What?
How many ratings? How many ratings does it have from the audience?
Over 25,000.
25,000.
Over 25,000.
All right, that's a pretty good sample size, man. That's wow.
Because it looks like it caps out at 25,000 or something.
All right. So, Jordan, this is the spoiler alert part of the episode. Jordan, let's talk about a few things that, well, since there's probably less things that we did not like, let's talk about the things that we did not like. What did you not like about Sinners?
And I didn't like the ending.
What?
I didn't like the vampires were still alive.
Oh, but why?
Because they were the bad guys.
But do you think it makes it like a bad story, or is that like just like a little Jordan personal? I'd prefer that
I don't
they
know.
be dead, kind of deal.
It felt like it felt like the all the stuff they went through was for nothing. So I don't know.
Because I guess it does leave about. We went from the whats to the 90s, the 30s to the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that.
it leaves about 60 years of what have the vampires been doing, you know?
You're fucking
like-
around.
Maybe they're making more vampires. But I feel like they'd stick together vampires, you know? I feel like there'd be at least another person there. Like a
Yeah.
third vampire that they introduced. But then it'd get probably pretty cheesy because then they'd have to introduce a whole new character. Like, hey, my name's Dale. I got sucked off by one of these guys in the 60s. You know? I don't know. But, yeah. What did I not like? Ah, man. I feel like I should have wrote it down during the Yellow Pad watch, but I didn't write it down. But I think there was something legitimately technical that I'm like, I would not have done that. You know? I just can't recall it, and I wish I wrote it down. Like I said, guys, this was my first time doing a Yellow Pad watch, and so I'm sure my reviews will be more thorough with those in the future.
I hope so.
Now, I must say, given the Yellow Pad watch, it might be a little bit more tricky doing movie reviews if I have to see it twice before we put it on the podcast, or I just start writing more and do my own little review on the website.
That's what I think you should do.
I've been wanting to do website movie reviews for a long time because they're more thorough, they're more succinct. You know, is in writing I'm so much better than speaking, which is kind of ironic, given how much more I do the talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say there's probably one or two things that are maybe could be improved upon, but like it's just at that point, I feel like if there's anything wrong with this movie, Jordan, I think it's just a nitpicky level of wrong. You know, like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't do this. Like, very little is wrong with this movie. What are you doing?
I'm turning my volume back down after I turned it up for vocab.
Oh. But yeah, I'll get back to it about what I don't like about this movie. You know who would definitely have an answer about what's wrong with this movie?
Is that?
Aaron.
Yeah.
He's so good at analyzing film. And he's so good at making fun of movies, even if they're good. He's like, yeah, that was kind of silly.
Is he? Has he seen this movie? Do you know?
Oh, I watched it with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was that one day where I was trying to watch a movie with, like, anybody.
Oh, yeah,
and you were
yeah.
out of state.
You did say that, yes.
Yeah. And he tagged along, and I was very, very grateful. Very grateful for it. But yeah. So, let's get into the part that we like. What are some parts that we liked, Jordan?
So, I liked the setting. I mean, I guess that's. It was a way to tell a very unique story.
I so much agree.
Like, you don't see vampire settings in like the 40s or 30s
Yeah.
very often, if at all.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, just the way they told the story through their sound and music was really, I don't know what word to use for that.
Masterful.
I guess, yeah, something like that.
It was dang good.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
like, yeah.
like, yeah.
Like, I saw it in IMAX before coming to Fleur, and, like, it was still just amazingly well done. Like, you noticed.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know what the IMAX one was like.
Yeah.
You know? I agree that the time and setting is a wonderful call. Perfect call. I don't know what the bulk of this story is adapted from with Ryan Coogler. I don't know if he, you know, maybe thought of making this movie from a book or anything like that. But, you know, as Aaron and I, we were talking about when we left the theater, when we watched it the first time, we talked about, like, how original it felt despite the whole vampires thing. Like, vampires have been done a million times over, but this felt really fresh, like a tall glass of water. You know what I'm saying? Because he said, yeah, usually like the two extremes that people most often visit with vampires is either stuff like Nosferatu or Twilight. It's either super modern or OG days, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this was really awesome, and you know me about the southern,
Oh, yeah.
stylistic,
I know that.
Louisiana
Yeah.
style things. Even though it wasn't in Louisiana, but there was a Bayou, Louisiana reference a couple times in the film, and I'm all about it. Just the whole southern culture ness of the entire movie. I loved it. I loved it. The way it looked was perfect. The way the way things is, bro. Way it be, bro. And so I just, yeah. The sound, honestly, maybe I paid no mind. Maybe I just expected it to be good because I went to IMAX. But yeah, I really didn't notice how wonderful the sound was until we got in the Fleur Theater, and it still held up.
Mm-hmm.
And it still held up. And you even mentioned, you know, and this is your only sample of it. And Fleur definitely does not have IMAX speakers, you know, but you still noticed how wonderfully done the sound was. You know, things were implied so well, like how you mentioned when the old man was telling that story of someone getting lynched, and you heard in the undertones that activity of someone getting lynched. And it's weird because, like, you would think something like that would clash, but it was just so well done. They knew exactly what parts needed to be heard in from the characters, and exactly what parts needed to be heard in the undertones. You know? And maybe
Yeah.
in some parts they just made the movie deserving of multiple watches. You know, I hear people, I mean, I guess I work with people who are just film nuts. I've heard that Alvaro and Bryce have gone and seen it 4 or 5 times already.
Really?
Yes. It's that good of a movie, bro.
See, I'm not a movie rewatcher. I don't see any point. I'm like, I already seen it. We need to watch it again for.
I will say that with theater prices and how theater prices be, it does take a lot for someone to go back to the theater and see it. But with the way this movie looks and the way this movie sounds, maybe you don't need to see it in IMAX 3 times. But like, this is one of those movies where I genuinely get excited to share to a new friend a theater experience of said movie. That's how it was like with No Way Home. That's how it was like with The Batman. For me, I'm like, I need to see my friends see this movie for the first time. You know, it's what was that analogy I came up with a long time ago? It's like how gets excited getting someone for the first time. You know, it's like that. And yeah, it's just really it's a really cool movie, and it's worth most of your money. Maybe there's a certain extent where I'd say maybe you can just, you know, not see it again until it goes to streaming. But it's definitely worth one theater visit. Please, if you're one of those people that wait out for things to go to streaming, dear God, don't make Sinners one of this, okay? I promise you it's an experience. See, what I really liked, another thing that I really liked, I've been paying attention more to what they would call at the Writers' Workshop beats in a movie. And apparently every movie, the average movie, has 60 beats. Think of it like a staircase.
Okay.
You know? And each beat has to make sense to the previous and proceeding beat, just so everything makes sense. It's a coherent story, right?
Okay.
And you could tell, especially in the second watch, I could tell more so, why did Mary, Haley Steinfeld's character, why did Mary go out and see those vampires? Like, was she just trying to be nice? That was my thought the first time. I kind of went to the bathroom the first time I watched it, but I didn't go to the bathroom the second time I watched it. It makes sense why any of them, like you watch horror movies and it's like, why would you go do that, you stupid person? Or why are you walking into the scary section, you stupid person? Why did you trip and fall? This is all stupid cliche stuff. No, everything had a rational reason for why people would go out into the danger, because we know the danger, they don't. But it still even had, like I said, sensical reasons. Why? Let me quiz you. Why did Mary go outside and talk to those vampires?
To see what kind of money they got.
Exactly. Because why did she go see what kind of money they had?
Because they was gonna be broke soon.
Because the juke was kind of failing to make money. Why was the juke trying to failing to make money?
Because people kept paying with plantation coins.
Exactly. And why did people keep on paying with plantation coins?
Because everyone worked on a plantation.
Yeah, and why did everybody work on a plantation?
Because they were all former slaves.
Yeah, their demographic was former slaves. See how it all, I love that so much. Like, that's exactly why storytelling is fun. It's a spider web of things.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Does that not, get you, hyped?
No, that just sounds normal to me.
I mean, as you, who, you like movies,
I guess, yeah. Sometimes.
that's just, what everybody expects when they go see a movie. It makes coherent sense.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
That's just, the main difference between, a noticeably good movie or a noticeably bad movie. Everything, I don't know. The domino effect of just storytelling is really fun to do and is really satisfying.
Don't apply that to, any of the Transformers films, because they will fail.
Well, that's probably why most people don't like the Transformers
Except for
films.
Bumblebee. Bumblebee and probably Rise of the Beasts. Those two would probably pass.
I mean, people love Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Not everybody loves Rise of the Beasts. I thought it was fun. It was an epic,
You hated Rise of the Beasts.
Hey, no. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I will say it every time it gets brought up. You evaluated the movie like it was an amazing movie. I evaluated it as if it was super mid. And then our movie scores was 5 points off.
Yeah.
I will always be confused about that. But maybe I slam dunked on it too hard back then. But I'd say it's still kind of a fun movie. What is going on?
I don't know.
That's twice now.
Yeah.
We will not talk about what we were talking about.
Yeah.
We will not explain what we're talking about. That's crazy. And Brave. Anyways. Yeah, I just love the whole domino effect of things that rationalizes any mistake made in the film. There's almost no situation in the movie where it's well, this is happening to push forward the plot. No. There's no, I'd say 0% lazy writing in this film. Anything else you liked about the movie? Maybe what'd you like about the story, huh? Because you said you didn't like how the vampires lived.
Yeah.
And for what you said you liked was a lot of production sides of things.
Oh, yeah.
But what in the story did you really like?
I guess, I don't know. What do you mean? What does that mean?
I like how it had black vampires. That's a part of the story.
For a while, I was actually starting to think that, I
guess you did say the setting was good.
For a while, I was starting to think that one of the rules was that black people couldn't be vampires. Because, the only ones we had seen were all white, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, suddenly that changed.
That does remind me that it reminded the film made me remember that it was one of the rules. I feel like they used a rule that people don't really use anymore with vampires.
Which is?
they can't come in until they're invited. Now, I haven't brushed up on a lot of other vampire media to consume, but
I just think that one just doesn't come up often enough.
they made it like
But like
the
that was
number
like
one
the
rule
entire
in the
premise
film.
in this movie, yeah.
And I really liked it. You could see the dynamic multiple times of rational reasons why they're trying to get in and be sneaky about it, but the audience is in on the fact that it's so obvious that they're a vampire, but there's still that piece of chance that's like, oh gosh, are they gonna get tricked? But they didn't get tricked a lot in this film, and I think it is. I say the word realistic, but we're talking about vampires here. I like how, like people taking on realistic takes of a hypothetical. What would happen if there was vampires in this situation? A lot of people died.
Yeah.
A lot of people died. You could almost say the only person who didn't was Sammy Moore as a child.
But not even almost. That is what happened.
You know what? As I say that, yeah, the only person who survived was Sammy Moore, which was crazy because, usually there's a lot more characters with plot armor, But it was really well done with taking care of that hypothetical where, yeah, a lot of these characters that you cared about, they're donezo. They're gone. But yeah, that does remind me of the one thing I didn't really like about it. They probably could have switched up the ending just a little bit for it to be a little bit more realistic. Because, admit it, bro, Sammy had been had when he was in the river with the vampire. Like, sure, he was singing the prayer, and so the vampire joined him in singing the prayer. But I feel like realistically, he would have been done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that might be
That was the plot armor.
Yeah, that was like the only noticeable plot armor where, dude, he's treading water. You got your giant fingernails popping out now. Like, maybe have him react with the guitar way sooner than he actually did. Or maybe bring out the sun a little bit faster. But I know you wanted to create that tension of oh snap, oh snap, oh snap. But then eventually, in this case, very quickly turns into, okay, well, he could have been got. Mm-hmm. Unless he wants to play with his targets, in which he has not really previously shown that he wants to play with his targets. Like, he's really just been attack on sight for the whole movie so far.
Other than, I'd say, maybe that first family.
I mean, he was trying to beg himself to get in.
He was a little bit showman on the part with the woman, I guess. Like, he was playing it up a little bit, I think.
Oh, that's right. But it's insinuated that in the very next moment she becomes a vampire.
I mean, yeah.
But I guess maybe that, I don't know. That's the only part that I would probably tweet. Like, the only part. So, like, sorry, this movie is not our first 100. Could have been, but yeah, I'm so glad that I remembered like the only part that I didn't really like about this movie. But let's see. It was a very adult movie. Sounds like you want to talk about it.
If like one more specific thing would have happened in this movie would have been X-rated. It'd been crazy.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that it's one of those movies where it's like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing, but like you can't show it to like your pastor or your nana. Like, you can't recommend it for them. You know?
My nana would watch it.
I told my family chat that I was gonna go see Sinners the first time, and they're like, looks awful.
That sounds like a Dusty thing to say.
No. I gotta show my mom this movie.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, I think she'd be about it. It's definitely one of those movies where she would just call them by their actor's name the whole time, though. Except for the fact that she would only know Michael B. Jordan's name the whole time.
Yeah.
Or just say the bad guy from Black Panther. Or the boxer. Or something like that. Oh, there's 2 Michael B. Jordans. You know? But yeah. Yeah. Definitely a movie I'd want to show my mom. But, yeah, with Nana, she would definitely not have... She wouldn't be one of those like, oh, you know, let's sit in for the appreciation of the cinematic nature and the sound quality of things. She's like, no. We got people spitting in their mouths. We got people riding, you know, cowgirl position.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
We got...
You didn't have to keep going.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot in this movie. Appropriately named Sinners. But it's funny. Like, I don't know. It's a good movie.
It's a comedy.
It is a comedy. A little bit.
There is some really goofy parts about it.
Yeah.
That I thought were fantastic.
Yeah. I think that just about every movie that rubs me in the most perfect way has comedic points in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that, as I've probably told you before, I don't like joke writing comedy. I like situational comedy. Like, oh, what about this? Or maybe one of the characters is a smartass, or maybe a few of the characters is a smartass. You know,
I
like
hate
the old man,
smartasses.
like the old man. You know, that guy was funny
Sure.
a few times. But what were you thinking when you said there's a few comedic parts in this movie?
I don't know about comedic. Goofy is what I said.
Okay,
All right.
goofy's a better word. Yeah, I agree.
One of them, I guess, for me, one of the big ones for me was the musical number at the closer to the end, where the vampires find them, right? And there was just so many just funny things. Like there was the guy playing the guitar, like electric guitar, while he's playing the not electric guitar.
Dude, oh my gosh. I struggle to even think about how Ryan Coogler even began writing and directing that moment. You know? There's a crud ton of things happening. And at the same time, a lot of CGI. You know, there's a lot of post-production work in that moment alone. And it's just an absolutely, I'd say, psychedelic moment.
Yeah.
Really. It's just, that's probably, from a director's perspective, the most impressive part of the movie. Now, it might have been really easy in the moment, like, hey, I need all y'all dancing, and I'll tell my camera guy to go where he needs to go. But when it comes to successfully setting a mood, that was good. And that was peak sound production in that moment, too.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Anything else to say about this movie that we haven't really covered in any of these?
I almost think it deserves a sequel, but like not a spin-off. Yes, not a sequel.
Like
Just-
an in-universe.
Yeah.
I want a second movie
Yeah.
out of this world.
Yeah.
That's fair to ask. Kind of like Glass Onion. Wasn't exactly a sequel. I mean, it kind of was because it had the same detective on it, but it has no connection to the first mystery.
Mm-hmm.
See, usually when I see movies that are as great as this, I'm like, please don't make a sequel. Please don't
So,
touch this story at all.
In the story of or in the terms of like business and movies,
And
sequels
making money,
are
yes.
an accomplishment because you don't get to make a sequel unless you make enough money to make a sequel.
Yeah.
So like, and this one I think hasn't it?
What, being greenlit to have a sequel?
No, it's made more than its money back.
Oh, obviously. It has to. It has to.
Let's find out.
Now, what was the production company? It was Proximity Media,
Well,
and that
Warner
was
Brothers.
Ryan. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was probably Proximity Media came up with the story, and then they went through Warner Brothers to produce it. But
$90 million budget.
oh my gosh, they probably made a lot more money.
Okay, let's see. What did this say actually? Sinners passes box office milestone. No original film has reached in 8 years.
Okay.
Okay. Come on. Stop it.
Big money, big money, big money.
Sporting a reported $90 million budget and a rare agreement to return rights to the film to Coogler in 25 years. Sinners was a big risk for Warner's film studio chiefs Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi. Blah, blah, blah. Why is that highlighted? Okay. Okay.
We're looking for a number.
It says it's at 69 million not worldwide, overseas right
Oh,
now.
Okay.
216 million after 4 weekends in theaters.
You know, with how good this movie is, you'd think it'd be more, but we got to remind ourselves of how often box
Well, it
office does not equal
It's
good
money back
movie,
and then again. So
and good movie does not equal box office. Like, it made money, made a lot of money,
it made a good amount of money.
but yeah, not as much money as it probably deserves.
It's projected to get up to 300 million
That's
worldwide, probably about the end of the end of this week.
That's how much money people spend on Transformers movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of CGI. So,
Yeah.
but I think typically sequels have to make in order to get greenlit for a sequel or a spinoff, it has to make 70-something%. Like
Okay.
gross.
Okay.
That is. So that means it has to make its money back and
70% more.
yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, if it's double
So, like,
that, then it might
yeah.
get one, maybe. But like, I don't
I
know.
see. Going back to what I said, when I see movies like this, I'm like, please don't touch it with a 90-foot freaking stick.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, please make more.
Please make more money, or please make more movies with this energy of good. You know, that's my interpretation.
Like-
I want directors to make more movies than I want movies to make more upon itself. Like, I'm gonna start paying way more attention to Ryan Coogler after this. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, we already love the Creed franchise.
That's what it was. Creed.
Yeah. And so, yeah,
I
because
think he just likes Michael B. Jordan.
who?
Ryan Coogler.
I mean, if you are really good friends with an obvious male lead, you're gonna cast him in most of your movies.
Yeah.
I wish Jonathan Majors made a comeback.
Well, you know that those charges.
Were dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Pissed
And,
me off when I heard about it. Guilty till proven innocent, says Disney.
PR, man.
PR, schmear. What kind of money are they gonna lose? It's Disney.
Fair enough.
Bunch of freaking losers. Sorry, they're probably one of the biggest winners in the history of winning. But
Don't worry. Don't forget the same thing happened to Johnny Depp,
yeah, that too. So
which is crazy to me.
hopefully their comeback is coming soon.
Disney has dropped 2 A-list actors just because they're part of something that is not great.
Yeah. Okay. So, enough with that. Let's get into awards. Let's do awards, baby. And I have a feeling...
Dang, we're at 11 minutes left.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that these will be the easiest awards to give out.
Yeah.
So, who had the best actor? What?
I think it has to go to Michael B. Jordan because he played 2 different characters.
Yeah. It's what I said to you after I watched it the first time before you had seen it. I'm like, I really think that this does nothing but... I mean, he's already like top mainstream lead male actors, but like even more so. This solidified any sort of question how good of an actor he is. I heard somewhere, some way on the internet, they're like, "Yeah, I could listen right through his accent. It was a bad accent." I'm like, I didn't.
Well,
really
you're
notice.
a crazy person.
I didn't have a problem with how he was talking at all. Matter of fact, I really liked it. Anyways, this solidifies Michael B. Jordan's acting because, yeah, he plays twins.
That's right. He's going to be in the I Am Legend sequel that will come out someday.
Because, yeah, he's going to play as twins, but you could immediately, because of his acting skill, differentiate between the 2 brothers. Like, yeah, they made it visually easier to know who's who because one wore blue and one wore red. But in the fact, it's all based on how Michael B. Jordan
They both
plays
acted
them
completely
individually.
different.
One-
And they felt different, too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, like you were completely immersed that these were 2 completely different guys.
I'm gonna say a hot take here.
Okay?
You ain't gonna see Ryan Reynolds do something like that.
All right.
Even though he kind of did in Deadpool 3, but like it still just kind of felt like Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, the whole joke is that it's multiverse and it's all
He's
him.
playing himself, I guess. Yeah,
And
I guess
most-
for that specifically.
Most
but like,
Deadpools have similar personalities.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I've been on team Ryan Reynolds that has no range. I've been on that team for a while, but like that doesn't mean I still don't like him. He's great.
yeah, he is great. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan. From the first scene, you could tell that the guy in red was more laid back, and the guy in blue was all about business, right?
Business.
Yeah, it did help in the writing, of course, that the one in blue was more serious and more about business, and the one in red was a little bit, more about the people and relational stuff like that. But great performance by Michael B. Jordan. No notes, no questions asked. The best acting goes to Michael B. Jordan, only because playing 2 different people it's a high bill.
If it wasn't Michael B. Jordan, I'd give it to the old man.
Yeah, that was good too. Best scene. Best scene in the film.
I'll let you tell yours first
Jordan.
because you told it was very early on in the movie.
Very early on in the
Yours
movie.
was.
I mean, my favorite
Oh
line.
no, that's best line.
My favorite
Okay.
line was early on in the movie. Best scene? Ooh, that's gonna be kind of hard. I think an honorable mention is when Sammy Moore was singing his heart out in the juke, and all these people were dancing, and it goes back to those psychedelics where the post-production was perfect. The acting was perfect. The emotion that was trying to be portrayed fully 100% successful. But I don't want to give that best scene. It might be the hardest scene, as I said, in the movie. But let's see. I think I don't know. I got to think about it. What's your
What
best
do you
scene?
mean you gotta think about it?
I gotta think about.
I wanted you to go first for a
It's
reason, you
amazing.
fart.
It's an amazing movie from the beginning to the end, and I really want to think about this. Okay.
Okay, fine. The best scene for me is when the old man, he's telling that whole story about how they were robbing the guys and or no playing for the jailers or whatever, and then the guy gets lynched and all that stuff. It's yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really good too. Ooh,
That one spoke to me.
I gotta think about this. So hard. Ooh. There's a lot about this that I really liked. But I think. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's between two. All right, the first one I think is the lesser of the second one, but this is my favorite scene. When Cornbread tried to get back in as a vampire. I thought that was a fun one, but there's also a lot of tension. It was really good, and it hit you in the feels. Like, oh God, are they gonna let him in? Oh God, it just got quiet. The score just stopped. You could hear the money. You can hear the mouths moving. And then he tries to get him. And like, ooh, that was so good. It was so... And the writing is probably my favorite in this part of the movie. Because you got... What was Smoke's girl's name?
I'll be honest, I don't know which one's which.
Smoke is the blue one. Stack is the red one.
Okay.
Mary is Stack's gal.
Yeah.
The big
Yeah.
woman.
I don't know. Did they? Yeah, they did. I don't remember what it was though.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Sorry. I should have known that. It's probably going to come back to me as soon as you say it. But I really like the dialogue here where she's like, why do you need back in? You've been in and out of this place. You can't invite your big-ass self in on your own, Like, you're the doorman, It doesn't make sense. Like, it's stuff like that going back to the logical sense of this entire movie. Like, why would we just let you in? You're the doorman. Like, I loved that scene, but I think for the sheer fact that it got me excited just as much as it did the first time. You know what scene I'm talking about? You know what scene I'm talking about?
No.
Take a guess.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That was a good guess. But anyways,
Annie.
Okay, cool. So, bro, when the Asian mom was going absolutely nuts
Oh.
about how they're gonna go get her daughter, and they're trying to stop her from trying to go rogue.
She's the one that tells them all to come in.
She bites Smoke's hand, and she's like, "Come on in, you mother," and you feel the blood-curdling screech in her voice, but then the music changes, and then the camera zooms in on the main vampire reacting to it, and you just get these chills like, oh my God, we just invited about 30 vampires to come inside, and boom, they're wrecking shop, dog. Like, oh my goodness, people are getting burned alive, people are becoming vampires,
Herself.
people are dying, people are getting stabbed through the heart. It's crazy, and I think that's probably my favorite scene, not for any cinematic or filmmaking purposes, but for the sheer emotional demand that scene takes from you. It's crazy. That's actually one of the points where the ratio changes. It's like, oh my gosh, it's
And
about
then she
to
got
go
her
down.
husband, and then she just kind of like burns.
Yeah. See, that, in my opinion, that's the scariest part of the movie.
Scariest?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, not like, but like, you see her burning alive and she's still screaming. And not like a, but like a, angry scream.
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh my gosh, that's my favorite scene. But yeah, your favorite scene being the Lynch description,
And the part before that too.
and what was the part before that?
Like the whole story.
Oh, like getting him, the old man.
No, like, so that's not the only like part of the story is the lynching. Remember when they drove past those ditch diggers?
Yeah.
And then he talks about how he knew them,
Mm-hmm.
and like, why? Because he was with them, and then they took him. They were singing, and they took him out to make money off of them, and then
One of them got really rich, and nobody believed that he got that honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one too.
Mm.
Let's see. Best line. I think we both early on had a favorite line.
Both. I know you did.
Yeah. Like 5 minutes after I said that's my favorite line in the movie, you said that one's mine.
No. Yeah, because it was like right afterwards.
You remember
yeah.
what it was?
Nope.
It was something along the lines of if
What was yours?
so mine, it was so good, and they probably intended on this being like the quote of the movie, but early on, his father said, if you gonna keep dancing with the devil, one day he's gonna follow you home. And man, that vampire was like, hey, I've been looking for you. Oh my gosh, Jordan, that is crazy. But yours was something along the lines of if we're gonna be doing something with the devil, it might as well be one that we know about, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
It was like they were telling them like there's a bunch of bullshit in Chicago. We came back because at least it's like bullshit we know. Yeah. I don't remember the exact words.
So instead, what do you think would be the best line if you can't quite really remember that one?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay. That's fine. Let's see. Best shot in the movie. There's a lot of really good ones. I actually haven't sat down and thought about what my favorite shot in the movie is. But yeah, there is the shots through the door. There's the shots of the bottle. I think there's a lot of subject shots that I think were really interesting. But the best shot that I think, oh, I know what it is. It's when Mary's starting to make her way back to the juke, and in the background we see the vampire start to fly.
Huh.
That one's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that does its job.
Sorry, what? Yeah.
Sorry, we just heard some
Screaming.
screaming from a theater.
I don't think it was from
And-
a theater. I think
and-
it was.
And we really hope that it's because the movie's loud.
Oh, was it coming from the theater?
I mean, James just reacted.
I thought it was coming from the TV, actually. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So, you could really just pick any shot from that whole scene of the singing and dancing.
Truly, yeah.
Just pick one.
Like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really need to explain that even
I
anymore,
personally
honestly.
don't like picking a lot of shots that require a lot of CGI. But
I
oh
don't
my
think
gosh,
if you want me to be honest, I don't think it had any.
I think it.
I
was
believe
like
that all of that was practical.
the fire.
Yeah. Well, maybe digitally altered, not necessarily CGI, but like There is a difference.
All right. I really do like the shot that's from that same scene that you were talking about. Really good stuff.
Because, like, when it pans up and you see this the roof, like, burning away to see the starry night, and then it goes through, and then it pans back and you see the... Oh,
you know what's like a really long running shot that I really appreciate? Moments before we find Mary killing Stack, because there's a really long running shot where it's focused on Sammy Moore talking to Smoke, and Smoke's like, go get him. And there's no cuts. We follow Sammy Moore to the door. He's like, oh God, they're having sex. Let me shut the door. And we come back and we talk. We watch them talk. He's like, didn't I say go get him? He's like, hey man, I can't interrupt that. And then Smoke's like, I'll do it myself. And then we follow Smoke to the door. And then we see Smoke acknowledge the fact that the old man's watching the door, the entryway, and not Cornbread. He's like, where's Cornbread? And we pan over to the old man. And he said he had to go take a pee and all this stuff. And, you know, there's that little small altercation, you know? And then we finally see him knocking on the door. And that's the end of the shot. You know how many times they probably had to practice that with the pacing and all this stuff? Not to mention, they are not the only people on camera during all this. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's music,
noticed that there was a lot of those like moving shots.
Yeah, it's
and stuff
so
like that.
good. It's so good. And, you know, just the part of me who knows how complicated yet how well that was executed, that's probably
They
my
definitely
favorite
had
shot.
some camera cranes in use here.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going over a little, an hour, just a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah, hurry up.
Let's finally score this movie. I'll give it a 97.
I'll give it an 86.
What? You really didn't like the vampires still live?
No, I didn't.
All right. Okay. Personally, I feel like this is a 10. Characters? I mean, sound and score was a 10. That's for sure. The message was, don't go dancing with the devil or they're going to follow you home, right? Even the director says that there's no really political or anything like direct message. He just wants to provoke emotion. So I'm going to give that an 8. I'll give the pacing a 10 because everything made sense. Everything was connected. The acting, that was a 10. The writing, that was a 10. The cinematography, that was a 10. The story, that was a 10. And then now I'm really stumped on the character. The character work here was really good. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 9 just because that's exactly 97.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to do the math when most of them are 10s.
Yeah. Yep. Subtract from what's not a 10. It gets easier as the movie is better because guess what? It's just a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's that. And now we're going to just close out with my yellow pad notes. There's only 4 notes, so please bear with me here.
I'm not a bear.
Okay. My sinner's notes. 4 different notes. So, you know, the first note, I just wrote it down for the sake of writing something down. I put immediate foreshadowing, which is we saw a little bit of a scene that did not happen until the very end of the movie where we once again see it. And then for the second time we see it, it's implied and, you know, done just a little bit differently, which I like. I say introducing new information can be scary based on execution. Now, Jordan kind of trumped the note a little bit by saying, I knew right away that the vampires could fly. But for the slower people like me, when we find out, for me, when I find out the vampires can fly, it's when he's about to go get Mary. And Mary's like the first character that we legitimately care about becoming a vampire or not. And so when we see him jump into the air and then it's a cut real quick, that's a jump scare. This movie did a really good job of doing jump scares that we were watching happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not like a sudden
I did
scary
notice
face
that. It
coming
wasn't
into
one
the
of those
screen or
cheesy
anything
jump
like
scares.
that.
It was like tasteful jump scares.
Yes, really good.
There was
jump
quite
scares.
a few of those.
I wrote down when the music stops, you can hear sounds really clearly, like the reaching into the pocket or a lip smacking, right? And I said, and even when you know something bad is going to happen, the speed of such things happening and the loud noise executed in post-production of the action makes it a jumping scare, despite us seeing the danger and knowing the danger the entire time. And then my last one was having a flashback that we've already seen in a movie is really effective if it's based on something that was good that cannot be experienced again. If you are looking for something that's sentimental, if you are looking to be emotionally provoking,
Like when they were setting up the juke joint.
yeah,
Yeah.
have a flashback to where you've already seen this in the movie, but make it a flashback that cannot be experienced again due to what happened in the movie. And that'll make you go, oh, and it was, that's tying into the flashbacks or, the future where they jump to the 90s at the very end and they have that small conversation, which I really, really think is just a cute little emotional, sentimental bow at the end of a really, really, really good movie. And that's my yellow pad notes. So, yeah. Why would you give it an 86?
I don't know. That's just what I
I
feel.
don't know.
87. How about that?
Okay, that's fine with me. That's this number on my hat. Got my Salt Company hat on. But anyways, this has been the Sinners movie review.
I gotta say something I did notice.
What?
The buzzards. You didn't notice the buzzards.
I didn't notice the buzzards. I gotta watch it again.
But like,
Ah, shoot. When's the next showing here at Fleur Cinema? Come on
I
now.
did notice the buzzards. I don't know. I couldn't quite pin down the significance of them. But there's definitely some symbolism with them, with how often we saw it.
And what's your guess on their symbolism?
I think
you told
it's
me.
every time we see someone that's gonna die,
Okay. I gotta rewatch that.
or maybe every time every time they're talking about death.
Apparently, you probably already know this because most people do. Anytime you see oranges in The Godfather, someone's gonna die. Apparently.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, this has been episode 144. 12 times 12. Episode 144 of the Too Many Words podcast. Whew. That's crazy. That has been our review of Sinners. Maybe I watch this movie for a third time and really get down to writing about it, but I don't know. I feel like a really good movie like Sinners does not need my input on it, so... What?
We're 12 episodes away from 3 years.
3 years exactly.
That's crazy to me.
I mean, we've been ramping up the third annual, so it just makes sense, baby girl. It's the end of August. That's our anniversary, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Stop.
But
Stop.
hey, a little bit of housekeeping. Come to our movie premiere where I show off my amazing short film that is definitely not even close to as good as the movie that we just reviewed. But, it's something.
Of course it's not even close. It's
we-
going to be way better.
We out here doing it, But yeah, come watch the short film movie premiere and podcast live event September 18th right here at Fleur Cinema and Cafe starting at 5 o'clock. But you don't have to show up on time. You just got to show up, baby. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff there. More information on thescaldstone.com. You can watch more of the podcast under Scaldstone Productions on YouTube, or if you're more of a listener, you can go to our Spotify, Google, or Apple Podcasts under Too Many Words Podcast.
Too Many Words Podcast.
Where can we find you, Jordan?
You can find me on TikTok. It's .justjordan.
Wonderful. You can find me.
What was that?
Did we ask if answers last week?
I don't know.
Oh, God. We got to know.
I don't.
It's fine. Jordan,
What?
who or what do you dedicate this podcast episode out to?
This podcast episode goes out to Michael Jordan.
Nice.
Not Michael B. Jordan. Michael Jordan.
Yep. You know, sometimes I just refer to Michael B. Jordan as Michael Jordan just to make people upset. Oh, I love Michael Jordan. You mean Michael B. Jordan? Like they're informing me of something that I don't already know. Like, dog. Just get with the vibe, okay? Anyways, I dedicate this podcast episode out to Ryan Coogler. I always love adding directors to my lists of study. And Ryan Coogler, at the spry young age of 38 years old, you're becoming one of the modern greats, and I wish to be only so lucky. I realized that you made the first Creed movie at 28, and so there's a little bit of pressure on me making some moves, but we'll see what I can do.
You did not ask if answers.
All right, you want to ask one?
I got nothing, man.
What's the best movie of the year so far? What do you think?
Sure, yeah, that works.
Simple question for my friends. What is the best movie of 2025 so far? Okay. We will answer that next week on episode 145 of the Too Many Words podcast. I dedicate this... Yeah. Ryan Coogler. Sorry. Already said it. But yeah. You know, when you hear more about how great Sinners is, and people are talking nonstop about Ryan Coogler, and people are saying, he did it again, he made another great movie. And I'm like, what has he made? Oh, yeah. Black Panther. Oh, yeah. The Creed franchise. And oh, yeah, maybe a few other things that I probably have seen and loved, but didn't know it was by Ryan Coogler. But yeah, man, this one goes out to you. Not that it matters at all that a random podcast episode by a couple guys that you've never met before goes out to you. But yeah, I gotta learn from the greats if I want to be great. So thank you for making the movies that you do. All right, 1, 2, 3, amen.
Amen on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Amen.
Amen.